All right, so welcome home to Eden. This is Eve Christoph and the Eve's Eden Show. If you need to have a divination session with me, contact me at lovelifewitheve@gmail.com. So we need to talk about lifeline adjustments, lifeline jumping, the alternate destinies that we sometimes miss or actually get onto that are negative that we should not be on, and how to get back to the positive lifeline or onto the more wonderful lifeline. So the first thing to notice is how it feels when you enter an alternate destiny lifeline. You're going to notice how it feels, because the moment you start on a track that's really different than the one you've been on, your body and emotion sensations will be like this. First of all, you'll have nausea. You'll have like a sudden dizzy spell where you're just like, whoa, the whole world feels like it's revolving, turning around you in space, and you don't know what just happened. And then bam, you're just, okay, I'm normal again. But after one of those strange revolving dizzy spell things, have you ever had that? What your job to do is to notice, how does the world look? Is it more dull? Is it more gray? Is it sort of lacking color? Is there sort of a kind of an emotional deadness to it? Or is it in technicolor? Suddenly for a moment, everything looks brighter, freer, lighter. Okay, so obviously when it's freer and lighter and energetically aligned, you want to stay on that lifeline. But when you've had the dizzy spell and you suddenly notice that things feel kind of like not very good, like not inspired even, notice the last thing that you did before the dizzy spell. Okay, notice the big decision or the action, the unusual event, and your reaction to it. And if you want to get off this dull lifeline you've just entered, go back and undo that decision. Turn the other way. Go back to it. Change it. All right? Then notice how energy feels, how your body feels, how the world looks. Is it sparkling? Here's a good example. I don't know if you remember when Al Gore was running for president against Bush. And in the end, Al Gore was actually winning, but Bush claimed that he had won. And then all the newscasters went along with that. And instead of there being this insistence, hey, we need to finish counting the votes, the newscasters suddenly pushed everything in the direction of Bush. And Bush started claiming, it's mine, I won it, it's mine, I just want it, gimme, gimme. And there was this wild thing that while the election was going on and Gore was winning, you could see this lightness, this brightness, this scintillating energy in all of the newscasters, because Gore was a climate change activist. He would have been the first climate change activist to ever become a president, and we would be 30 years ahead right now in all of the climate change initiatives for clean green energy. Right now, all of destiny would be different right now if he and everybody had insisted on counting all the votes, because when they did count all the votes, he had won by thousands and thousands of votes. He had won, but they didn't count them all because the Supreme Court came in and cut it off and said it was a bunch of Republicans who said, we don't want to count people's votes because we want to steal the election, basically. So when that happened, there was this dullness that came over the TV, like everybody's faces fell. Everybody was talking like zombies. There was a kind of a mechanistic drone in the way people were speaking. We entered an alternate destiny that you and I are in right now, with all of these world disasters of the planet going down in flames all around us. But there is an alternate destiny that is happening, that's going on, where they did count all the votes, and Al Gore's initiatives for the climate went into effect a long time ago, and the coral reefs are not dead like they are right now, dying. They're not in this alternate destiny. So by bringing all that up, I'm saying to you, there are alternate lifelines that are actually going on where things are going better for you or worse. But the ones that are going better, if you can tune into them and like tap in and call on that energy and wisdom that's going on in that lifeline, you can affect this lifeline. But the most important thing to do is to notice when you're getting off course away from your higher destiny and you're starting to surf into the dead zone, the dead land of nowhere's land, where it's not your high destiny, it's not fun, it's just everything mechanistic, everything's being done, decisions by the mind and by shoulds and what you feel you have to, and why you're trying to make other people happy or whatever it is that you're doing. You'll see this dull gray expanse all around you, and everything you look at will have a lower vibration. So notice those dizzy spells, okay? I know you've had them. And a lot of times you're like, oh, that was just a dizzy spell. That's weird. Maybe my blood sugar's down. Yeah, maybe. But it's a phenomena that is, the world is actually turning upside down, and that's why you get dizzy, okay? So how do you maintain your positive lifeline? How do you maintain the one that you're on that feels great, that's full of light and energy and joy and miracles and enthusiasm and gratitude and a soft centered feeling of just coming and doing what you came to do, to help other people, to help your family, just a kind of a peaceful energy that's full of self-love? That's a great lifeline to be in, isn't it? So how do you maintain it? It's probably another video, but the first thing to do is just to keep visioning what you want, see it in front of you without attached intensity. So you're seeing it as if it's already come. You're actually going forward into the life you want to be in and looking backwards at the life you're in now, and you can see how you got there to this life in the future that's got even more blessings in it than you have going on now, right? It's the next level, it's the next octave of your joy and your bliss and your manifestation. So that's visioning work, but visioning work is tricky because it can be coupled with a kind of a obsessive intensity that's needy and desperate and demanding that then backfires. So I do recommend the book Reality Transurfing. I feel like it's much more detailed on the law of attraction work. It's got more depth to it, more subtlety, and it's by Vadim Zeland. I think that's the author's name, for Reality Transurfing. It's a huge, thick book, but his tiny little synopsis, 78 Days of Transurfing, I think it's called, that one is it's tiny, and even without reading the big, huge book, you could probably understand everything. So blessings to you, and stay on your magical destiny, your beautiful higher path. If you're not on it, if you're looking around and you're seeing the dullness all around you, look and see what are some of the last decisions that you made about your life, or where you were going to live, or who you were going to be with, or what job you were going to take, and can you undo at least one of those things? Can you go in a different direction? Because literally, directions we walk in, circumstances we walk into, choices we make do shape the new destiny. It's not always that just destiny's there for us. We get to walk in and it's all set up. We're in this co-creational thing. So which destiny do you want? Which destiny do you have the courage to step into? All right. Well, things that are more fun and full of juicy joy, I don't know if it's courage you need. It's more like just stay awake. Stay awake to the process. Stay awake to the choices. How do you feel each time you have this thought about this thing you have to do, you think you have to do? How do you feel when you have that thought? And when you have this thought, how do you feel? So trust feelings, the divine feminine that we've gotten so away from, so much about feelings, and the feelings are guidances, like the emotion of fear will guide you, the emotion of joy will guide you. So your feelings will let you know where you're headed, and so will dizziness. Much love, darling. Love life.